Call Saul.
Talk about Better Call Saul.
Better Call Saul.
Talk about Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul. Talk about Better Call Saul.
Fucker.
In Season 1 of Better Call Saul, audiences were promptly introduced to the sad, sad world of the post-Breaking Bad Saul Goodman. Living in hiding under the alias of Gene Takovic, he exists in a perpetual state of loneliness and paranoia. Managing a Cinnabon in Omaha, Nebraska is not the life that this colorful scamp from Cicero is best suited for. We're shown that he longs for his days as Albuquerque's #1 criminal lawyer. The Season 2 cold open reinforces his paranoia and shows that he's taking zero chances when it comes to dealing with law enforcement. And again, we are witness to his longing for the good old days. In Season 3, when he flubs up and a little bit of Saul slips out,
Say nothing, you understand?
Get a lawyer.
a big old domino falls, triggering a chain reaction that puts his liberty at high risk. After an unfortunate encounter with Jeff, the cab driver, it appears that the jig is up. This son of a bitch lived in Albuquerque and recognizes Saul from his many commercials and billboards. Or so he says. This, of course, electrifies Gene's paranoia into high gear. But what does Jeff, the cab driver, want?
I just want you to admit it.
He doesn't outright threaten Gene, but his presence is undeniably unsettling. When we last see Gene in Season 5, it appears that he's done being scared.
I don't give a shit!
Rather than using the services of Best Quality Vacuum to relocate, he declares that, "I'll fix it myself."
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, I love you, bye-bye.
I love you too, my boy. Be safe.
Bye, asshole. But what's he gonna do? Where is this all going? Unlike the final season of Breaking Bad, Jimmy McGill's fate seems that it could go in any direction. As we entered the final season of the Parent series, all of the main villains at that time had been eliminated, just leaving the threat of Uncle Hank. And in the show's pilot, Walter White is basically delivered a death sentence.
Lung cancer. Inoperable.
It wasn't so much a question of if Walt would die, but how. With Gene's situation, the possible outcomes are infinite. But let's get to what's important. Let's get to what I think is going to happen.
Here we go. It's showtime.
Now, when Gene told Ed on the phone that he'd fix it himself, we could see the wheels already turning. He's either already got a plan or at least the beginnings of one. Gene is going to call Omaha United Cabs and request Jeff as his driver.
I can't talk to you when you're like this!
Anytime you need me, you just call up Omaha United Cabs. You ask for me, they'll find me no matter where I'm at.
Jeff will pick Gene up, and this is where we'll learn about his motive. I've seen a lot of people theorizing that because Skyler White was working as a dispatcher for a cab company toward the end of Breaking Bad, that this could somehow be connected to Jeff. Like Skyler sent him looking for Saul, but I don't think that's the case. What earthly reason would Skyler have for tracking him down? I just don't see it. I'd love to be proven wrong, though. I think Jeff's most likely motive is the most obvious. It's simply blackmail. You was the lawyer of the almighty Heisenberg. I know you have some of that drug money stashed away, and you're gonna pay me to keep quiet, you hear me? Okay, that's cool, whatever you say, Mr. Taxi Driver. Gene appears to go along with what Jeff is laying down. But that's all part of the plan. At this point, Slippin' Jimmy is back in business. He's viewing Jeff as a mark, someone who deserves to be scammed. Kind of like Ken Wins back in Season 2. But what's the scam? How does he screw this fella over? Well, I have no clue, but I'm hoping it involves a good old-fashioned Chicago sunroof.
He defecated
through the sunroof.
Painful diarrhea.
through a sunroof.
That's what a Chicago sunroof is. Now you know.
But it's too cold for that.
When it's cold outside.
Even if Jeff's personal vehicle had a sunroof, it's just too cold, as we saw from the previous Gene scenes. Maybe Gene gets into this boy's house and lays a dookie on his kitchen floor. Maybe Jeff steps in it. Okay, maybe not.
Not our Jimmy.
But Gene is also not going to murder this guy either. It's just not in his nature from what we've seen over the span of these two series.
Dead bodies really gross me out.
I imagine Gene doing something similar to what Walter White did with Gretchen and Elliot in the series finale of Breaking Bad. Putting the fear of God into him to the point that he's no longer a threat.
Tonight's the night.
After pulling one over on Jeff and reliving his glory days as a scam artist extraordinaire,
Jimmy McGill has had enough. Slippin' Jimmy.
he's done running and hiding. He's going to turn himself over to the authorities. Think about it. Walter White died. Jesse Pinkman escaped to Alaska to start a new life.
This is Alaska.
Jimmy needs a different outcome in this series. I also see this as a way of Jimmy honoring his brother, Chuck
The
McGill.
law is sacred. You know I'm right.
I can see Gene's path mirroring Walter White's in a way, with Jimmy returning to Albuquerque to first pay his proper respects to his brother, who was really right all along, and also to possibly tie up a few other loose ends. He surrenders to law enforcement, and we time cut to Jimmy's day in court, possibly in front of Judge Papa Lumian, who's been mentioned but never seen almost as much as Laser Tag Danny.
You know who likes his suit? Judge Papadumia. She thinks I'm a snappy dresser.
Jimmy will opt out of getting a lawyer and instead act as his own defense. This will be a new, evolved incarnation of Saul Goodman, one that is remorseful but at the same time still the sneaky miracle worker he always was.
The one you know so well.
You're the guy with a mouth.
Let's see that mouth.
Now he's still gonna do time, but not like end of the world rest of his life kind of stuff. Finding some loophole and possibly convincing the court that everything he did for Walter White was forced by way of physical threat or what have you.
We're done. And I say we're done.
He'll get, let's say, 20 years with a possibility for parole and 5 or 6. I don't know. I ain't no lawman.
That is insane.
Okay.
Now in prison, Jimmy is treated like a rock star. The lawyer behind the legendary Heisenberg. The man, the myth, the Saul goddamn Goodman. The inmates all gather round for the very best legal advice.
So what is the deal with the yard? I mean, when I was a kid, my mother wanted me to play in the yard.
But what about the call that Francesca was supposed to receive on Jimmy's birthday after he was disappeared? How does that play in?
Oh, I'm not sure. Kim Wexler certainly isn't in the picture at that point. She was buried beneath the concrete of the super lab a long time ago.
I don't think any of this is right.
Yeah, probably not. Never mind. Sorry for wasting your time again, viewers. Thanks for watching, I guess.
We'll see you in court.
Just
Better call Saul.
talk about Better Call Saul.